Welcome back to Jarrett Grimes Aquatic-Life. I promised you guys some videos coming up soon of projects I've had going on and some updates and such. Stay tuned and we will talk about what is going on currently with the 220 and what all I've accomplished. So here we go as we approach the 220, in the living room with the glare of my 55 African tank in the background. I did have the overhead light on, but it seemed to put an even worse glare on it. So the tank is finally in place. It's starting to actually look somewhat ready. I started the plumbing. Custom overflows on this one. It's drilled on each side. 2-inch bulkhead. Drains down the back to a fitting. 45 street elbow down, 2-inch PVC to a 90 long. And that is on each of the tank. Like I said, having an overflow on each side. Also have the input in the center there, ran down into the back of the stand for the sump. And it comes up through the center there. With an input facing in each direction. The background is painted. I did go over it again because it was a little light. Being in front of a window, which is not an ideal spot for a tank, being so big, I'm kind of limited on options on where I can put it in here and where the floor would hold it. So with that being said, let's take a look at the sump. Alright guys and gals, that's where both my drain lines come down, one on the left, one on the right, straight across, and I got a little bit of dip on it, so it does come down. You won't hear the splashing sound of it forcing the water down like crazy. Like I said in a previous video, I'm working on probably about 1,850 gallons per hour flow. That's 925 gallons per drain. That's what I'm going to kind of aim for. At first I'm going to start lower and work it up to that. I do have a Mag Drive 9 in here currently, so the water comes down into this, it will flow over, waterfall effect into my lava rock, filled to basically the brim. Water will then be forced up through and over this baffle, through this very coarse sponge. And this is actually rain gutter sponge that you buy at any hardware store, probably Menards, where I got this. It's like $5 for 6 feet. Really good stuff for catching debris and stuff like that. I forgot to mention that this area here will be filled with polyfill. Notice I have one drain that only protrudes the entry by about 2 inches where the water level will be, and then the other one is down at the bottom. This whole chamber will be filled with polyfill from the bottom to the top. That way this water will actually force the polyfill down that's at the top, and then that one there will be forced up through it. This one will really just work more as forcing the polyfill down and keep it from just forcing it over. The polyfill just wash right out of it. You know, the higher the flow gets, the more it's going to be a probable thing that, or a possible thing that will happen. So I'll have to play with it a little bit. I'm working on the sponges now. So anyways, the way this sump was originally designed was it would just go over and then through here. That way you could have your miracle mud, dirt, sand, substrate, whatever you want in here. Now in most of my sumps I drill holes all across this area. In this particular one I'm not gonna do that, because the only types of plants I generally keep in my sumps for fresh water is gonna be water sprite, wisteria, fast growing plants or floating plants. Java moss is a good one too, but with the higher current tends to not do so good. Especially with my American Cichlids tanks, I keep them around 80, 81-ish degrees, and the moss doesn't really like that. They like around 76, 78 being a high. Do better in lower temperatures. Enough of that about that though. If I want to do a plant video, that'll be in the future. And like I said, this part here will be a freshwater refugium, where I'll have plants and probably some type of gravel substrate, fluorite or what have you. And then it is forced to overflow this chamber, because this is where our water level is going to be. And then I'm going to have all my sponges, fine or coarse to fine. The fine going to be down the bottom. This is just an example of something I set in there. And of course this is all drilled to be able to handle the gallons per hour that I'm wanting to work with. This is a pretty big chamber for that little tiny pump. That will not be the pump I'm using. This is just going to be testing for leaks and all that plumbed in. I think it's a mag drive 9, so it probably does about 900 or 800 gallons per hour. I'll probably get like 500 out of it. But just as a test run, that will work. I also ran my air line through the crawl space under my house and up through the floor behind the 220. Have all my lines ran in, extras if I need them. And there will be air in the sump. I haven't decided if I'll put aquaponic stones in the display like I have down here or not. I'll probably have 2 or 3 of these to aerate the lava rock to keep beneficial bacteria moving. That's pretty well an overview on my 220 and what's been going on with it. I'm pretty satisfied so far as we go. Still a little undecided on substrate, if I want to do tile, if I'm going to stick with the sand, if I want to do 1-tone, 2-tone, a mixture of sand. It's going to be for my American Cichlids again. If you guys have any ideas on what I could do, put it in the comments below, or personal message me on Jarrett Grimes Aquatic-Life on Facebook. I have a page on there. You may call or contact me if you do need anything, so feel free to do so. Upcoming things that I'm going to have for content will be deciding on whether I'm going to do the sand or whatever for this tank, as well as scaping it, going with driftwood and soaking it, washing it, whatever I need to do as far as that goes. So you can look forward to that in the future. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of this, and just look forward to giving my American Cichlids a bigger home. And I mean, really, this is just kind of what I live for right now, you know. So any of you guys out there that, or gals, interested in this, stick with it. It's a really good hobby, and it brings you a lot of joy over time. And I will finish out this video with a look at the 220 from a distance, and a peek, about a 20-second peek of the parrotfish and severum that will be going into this tank when finished. Enjoy. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to end it here. More content to come in the near future. Like, share, subscribe if you don't want to miss out on anything that I have going on. I really appreciate all your support. It means a lot to me, just personally, to have people interested in the things that I'm interested in. In my home, I'm basically a one-man show, so it's a little lonely at times, you know, if you're not, don't really have discussions with people. Online is about all I have as far as that goes. Anyways, guys, peace. One last look. Try to get the glare out. Get a close up. Fire mount. Getting some size on it.